Condenser fan motor for an HVAC system. Question: what is a condenser fan motor, and what is the purpose of a condenser fan motor in the heating and air conditioning industry? And perhaps one may have gone outside at some point, not certain on this, but perhaps you gone outside and heard some noise, racket noise. It sounded like metal on metal, and or the condensers just stopped, or you look outside and then there's a motor that looks similar to this, and it has a fan on the bottom, and then you wondered what your AC stopped, and you wondered what the problem was. So at this point you may have called the HVAC technician or whomever, or do-it-yourself or handyman, and he or she may have indicated that the condenser fan motor was bad, and you wondered what a condenser fan motor is. It's just a simple motor like this, and then it has a fan on it attached to it like this. Now some have different fan shards at different sizes, but this is just like a 2 shard, I think, here. Some of them, this one here has 1, 2, 3, if one can see down in here. And the condenser fan motor, some of these motors have a different wiring, but some of the older ones, or even some of the newer ones may have a 3. Now if you get a rescue motor or something, it could have more wires than this, but normally there may be around 3 wires here. So if we take a look at the wiring, if we have in this particular case, we have a yellow, a black, and a brown. And then if we look on the specs on the motor, and it tells what size capacitor comes with the motor, then say hypothetically if it were a 5 microfarad capacitor. And then I think this may be the start. The HVAC guys can chime in and tell. But the brown wire, you would take it and you would attach it to your capacitor. This may be the start winding in the motor, I'm not certain. Okay, this would leave you with 2 wires left over. So then you would have 2 wires that would go, say, perhaps a common and a run. I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology, but basically you could attach those to the top of the contactor. This would give you, say, 120 volts on one, 120 volts on the other, for collectively 240 volts. So then this motor will turn, and then on the side, as one sees a little ground terminal, you can put the ground. Now this is this end here with the shaft would be turned up 180 degrees. It would be pointing down. And then on the bottom, on the shaft, would be something configured like this, with a fan on it. Then the fan turns. So then the question is, what does this motor do? Well, it actually takes and it pulls air into the side through the louvers, and then it dissipates the air up. In the summertime, if you put your hand about a foot above or 2 feet above, never stick it down on there, and while there's any electricity or the motor's running, because it could be dangerous. But notwithstanding, in the summertime you may feel heat coming off of your condenser. Well, this is pulling cool air into the sides through the louver, and it's dissipating here so you can reject the heat. So the condenser, as the word bespeaks, condenser, can condense the refrigerant from a high pressure vapor into a liquid, and when it gets it, then it goes through the liquid line, goes through the TXV or a metering device, and then it starts to flash and starts to vaporize in the A coil in the air handler. But this motor here, now if you heard a knocking sound, every so often these bearings can get bad in these. This could be what it does. Now sometimes they'll knock and run for a long period of time. So, but my suggestion is you've got a You've got a compressor down there. You've got your high and low pressure lines that you got that can feed it. So if you start to hear a knock, just my opinion is it may not be a bad idea to have it changed. So, and then this would be upended. So again, this particular one, you would look on the side and find out how many microfarads your capacitor is. And then you would say if it's a 5, you would use a 5 microfarad, connect the brown onto the fan side, and then connect these two onto the to the contactor to get your 240 volts plus or minus. And then this would rotate, and then when this fan rotates, the hot air will come up. It'll pull the cool air along the sides, and then it'll go across the coils, and once across the coils, then the high pressure vapor will begin to condense and go back from vapor to liquid. And once it goes back from vapor to liquid, it may start, the temperature may start reducing. So basically this fan is to pull the air across to reduce the temperature, so you can have so your refrigerant can have a change from vapor to liquid. Condenser fan motor. Thank you.